Life is a battle and a journey far from home.
This is one of the most impactful lines in Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, the most powerful ruler of his time. He didn't mean it just metaphorically. He spent much of his reign at war. At one point, he was away from Rome for 7 or 8 years. He was often away from his family, and he felt lonely frequently. His role as the most powerful man in the world was inherently isolating and lonely. Loneliness is a timeless thing. The philosophy of Stoicism was founded in a moment of loneliness. Zeno lost everything in a shipwreck. Seneca's best writings came from exile when he was sent far away from the people he loved. Marcus Aurelius, due to his power, responsibilities, and fame, was isolated and lonely, just as you might be today. In today's episode, I want to discuss some Stoic strategies for dealing with loneliness. Not just the loneliness that comes from being away, although that's a big part of it, but the loneliness that comes from feeling disconnected from others and loneliness in the modern world. These are things that Stoicism has much wisdom to share about, and I want to share them with you. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell to not miss our valuable illustrated wisdom in the future. 1. Be a better friend to yourself. There's a famous Stoic story about Cleanthes walking through the streets of Athens and hearing a man talking to himself, criticizing himself harshly. Cleanthes stops him and says,
"Remember, you're not talking to a bad person."
I think one of the things loneliness does is create this vicious cycle where we pull away from people, we don't feel good about ourselves, and because we don't feel good about ourselves, we isolate ourselves further. This Stoic idea of being kind to yourself and being a friend to yourself not only lessens the burden of loneliness, but also makes it possible to reconnect with others. I love the story of Cleanthes approaching someone who is clearly lonely, not in a good place, and being hard on themselves, and speaking to them like a brother, like a friend, saying something simple. I love that, but I also love what he actually said. The message here is that when we are in those dark places, feeling disconnected from others, we must remember we are not bad people, and how we talk to ourselves matters. The decision to treat ourselves poorly is not a good one. There's a saying that goes, "Until you learn to love yourself, the door will remain closed to others," which I think is beautifully put. If you don't believe you're worthy of friendships or relationships or connection or love, how will anyone else see that in you? So it starts with realizing you're not talking to a bad person. You're not a bad person. It starts, as Seneca says, by being a better friend to yourself. 2. Express love, feel love. You might think of Stoics as unfeeling, and I get that, but it's not true at all. Seneca says,
If you want love in your life, then love.
do you have affection for others? If you want to feel good, if you want to be loved by others, it's about what you put out into the world. It's about the energy you project, because that's what you control in the end. If you want to feel better, don't expect others to validate you or give you what you want, but give what you want. Marcus Aurelius says,
If you want to feel good, do good. If you want to feel love, express love in the world, show affection in the world.
see everyone you meet, as Seneca says, as an opportunity to practice kindness, and the rest will take care of itself, I promise. 3. Suffer with others. Most of the exercises I do are very solitary. I love running, I love swimming, I love lifting weights. I suffer alone, which is great, that's how I like to do it. But there is something special about suffering with others, doing hard things with others. Seneca talks about taking a cold plunge to start the new year. There are things that have existed for hundreds of years, like polar bear clubs, where everyone gets together and does something difficult and challenging together. One of the best ways to find community is around things you struggle to do by yourself. Specialized gyms are great communities, martial arts are great communities. Physical challenges like races, doing really hard things with others is a way to bring people together. There's a great line from Marcus Aurelius where he says,
We are like soldiers storming a wall.
so what if you slip and need to ask a comrade for help? Nothing makes you realize you're all in something together than when it's something each of you struggles to do alone. So I think facing discomfort is great generally, and facing discomfort with others is how you quickly become a member of a tribe. People at the bottom, when they need help, when they are struggling, they come together and learn how to be part of an organization. Not a top-down organization where they tell you what to do, but a community-driven organization, where we all come together and find comfort from each other while doing uncomfortable things together. 4. What you have is enough. According to the Stoics, Musonius Rufus, one of the greats, was exiled 4 times. And what did he learn from losing everything? He learned how much he took for granted. Yes, he missed Rome, he didn't like being far away, but he reminded himself,
did I really experience Rome while I was there? Or do I actually need to be happy?
He says,
I need a little food, I need water, I need sunshine.
he realized he was like those people who live in New York City and brag about all its amenities, but never take advantage of them. He found that a simple life was better, that a simple life was more philosophical, and that he needed very little to be happy, and that what he had was enough. 5. Ask for help. I was talking earlier about how Marcus Aurelius said, "We are like soldiers storming a wall, and so you need to be able to ask for help." So what if you ask for help? I think this is really important, especially when we are lonely, when we are struggling, when we feel like we can't do something, when we feel out of our element. You need to be able to ask for help. There's a saying I love in a book I read that says, asking for help isn't giving up, it's refusing to give up. Whether you just got out of the military, moved across the country, were part of a group or community, and now that's gone and now you're struggling. Whether you were in a marriage and that marriage fell apart, or your old friends and family dynamics changed. All of this will require adjustment and change, and it takes a lot of courage to ask for help. But you need to be able to do that. You need to be willing to put yourself out there. Asking for help doesn't mean, I need you to do all these things for me. It could be like, I'm going to do this thing. Do you want to come with me? I'd appreciate it if you came with me. Ask for help, reach out, put yourself out there. Courage isn't just what you do in a military campaign. Courage isn't just betting your life on a big idea. Courage is also saying, I don't know how to do something, saying, I don't think I know how to do something, saying, I need help to do something. It's a mistake if we conflate Stoicism with isolation, independence, lack of connection, and an inability to ask for help. In fact, the Stoics would tell you to be brave enough to do that very thing. 6. Find peace within. Marcus Aurelius was a homebody, and he says in his meditations,
You don't need to go on vacation. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to do anything. You can find peace by retreating within yourself.
This is something I remind myself of when I feel not just longing for things, but even when I go do things. I tell myself, you don't need to do something amazing. You don't need to go somewhere exotic. You don't even need to see other people for excitement or fulfillment. You can get that inside you. You can get that by having a conversation with yourself. You can get that through meditation. You can get that through learning. You don't need to go out and do it. You can call someone on the phone. I'm not saying don't be social. What I'm saying is we tell ourselves that going and doing things is what will bring fulfillment and meaning, but that's not true. We carry ourselves with us wherever we go. So if we want peace, we can get it from within. 7. Go for a walk. I'm not saying every problem in your life can be solved by going for a walk, but I am saying there's almost no problem in your life that can be made worse by going for a walk, and you might even solve your problem, even if just because going for the walk calms you down or distracts you. But look, I just say whatever you're dealing with, whatever is bothering you, whatever is worrying you, whatever is vexing your mind, go for a walk. Put your body in motion, let your mind rest for a bit. You'll be amazed at what might happen. And look, the very worst thing that can happen is you went outside, you saw the sunrise or the sunset, you saw the clouds, you saw the stars. It doesn't matter, you got outside, you got active, and you're better for it. And I think it will probably make a difference whatever you're dealing with. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Share your thoughts in the comments.